One day a treasure map appeared. It said that the martial arts of Chiang, the greatest martial artist in the history of the murim, were hidden inside Hengshan, along with the secret weapon he had left behind. This would be the spark that would set the murim ablaze, which had been very quiet. Suddenly, one of the mountains split in half, and a boy came out, saying that he had finally escaped that cave. The sky was blue, just like before, at least. He thought that maybe it was the shock of leaving the place, but no matter how much he tried, he could not remember his life before entering there. Even so, he needed to remember in order to obtain his revenge. His first memory was from when he was 10 years old. An old man introduced himself as Chiang, saying that they might not understand or believe it, but that in 10 years they would have to save the world. 100 children were gathered by Chiang, and the boy was one of them. He still remembered the calm eyes of that old man, who ordered them to obey everything he said. He also explained that the next day they would begin martial arts training. The boy did not feel fear because he was an orphan and had nothing to lose. Chiang warned that for those who tried to escape, he had sealed the entrance of the cave with a rocky cliff, and that it would also be very bad if someone tried to enter. Everything, from eating to sleeping, was controlled by him. They could not do anything on their own. The first martial art they learned was how to breathe, the art of the three energies, a technique that absorbed the energy of the heavens, the earth, and man. After that came how to use a sword, the sword of the three energies, then how to move the body with the step of the three energies. In other words, everything had to be learned under the instruction of Chiang, even how to walk. Perhaps 3 years had passed when he called them again and explained that those martial arts could reach the realm of the martial gods. For the next 7 years, each of them would master these arts so that all of them could open that door and enter there. To prevent the calamity that would threaten this world, they had to train without hesitation. Then they entered that cave and were sealed inside. The boy knew the reason why they had to survive in that hellish place. Everything was because of Chiang, as he had ordered. They trained tirelessly inside the cave. The mist that filled the place was actually condensed energy. Because of that, the arts improved day after day, but the energy became so dense that even space itself began to give way, and strange portals started to open. Demonic creatures invaded the cave. On that day, they saw the gate to hell. They fought against it, but it was a nightmare, a brutal fight for survival. The martial arts of the three energies were truly useful, but even so, no one besides that boy managed to survive. That was why he was the chosen one. He remembered his name. It was Dan Hu. Later, at the Cloud Pavilion, Dan entered a restaurant, and a woman from an important family paid attention to him. Her guard commented that he was carrying a sword without a sheath. Another man observed that the sword looked exceptional. Dan sat down to have a meal after a long time. He had no idea how much time had passed without a proper meal. He ate with such appetite that even the other customers ordered noodles as well. But that young lady wondered why that man caught her attention so much. When he finished the meal and the waiter came to charge him, Dan realized that he had forgotten about that thing called money. The waiter said that it was a problem and that if he ate, he had to pay. Dan replied that he had nothing. The waiter then asked for the sword as payment, but Dan said he could not give it. It was the sword he had traded for the life of his last friend. The waiter asked if he had planned to eat for free from the beginning, and people were already getting up to collect the debt. To know what happens next, please subscribe so you don't miss the next part.